I've been thinking a bit more about the times when, before I was doing this every day, I would take a break and then go back to the keyboard and try to start over. Whether it was, taking a week off or a couple days that maybe turned into a couple more days, or even just taking, just 2 or 3 days off. Um, One of the things that I recognized often was that after time away, my writing never was strong when I came back. It's very strange, but it does seem that, like with writing, the more time you take away, the worse you actually end up being when you get back. It's not like other endeavors in life where you take a small break and you come back all, recharged and refreshed and better and all that stuff, and your prose is strong. I often felt that any kind of time I took away, when I came back, I was always playing catch up. That if I took, say, like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday off from writing, if I went back on Monday, my quality of work, my prose wouldn't be good till maybe like a Tuesday or Wednesday. Those first day or two back, it was always bad. It was always really, really, really terrible prose. It's like I was somehow I was playing catch up or something, or that somehow I had lost the rhythm. That writing was sort of like this weird beat that you had to try to maintain, or it was like. Really, it was like, it's like in basketball. It's almost like I was a rhythm shooter in basketball, where the moment that kind of anything was disrupted, I was off. Right, if I was just having an off day, the whole thing was off. Right, and conversely, if I was consistent with my writing and I was having a really good day, then my writing was perfect. Right, it's very much a very hot and cold sort of thing. At least in my experience, and that's probably one of the things I'm thinking about now that has basically gone away. There aren't too many bad days at the keyboard anymore. At least not like the ones I'd have where I went back and initially. Now it's pretty much just a plateau. It's just a regular writing. It's a very consistent baseline that has maybe a 15-20% variation kind of at the most in terms of quality there. And that's at the extremes of my bad days. Now it's not like before where like half my prose just went away over a weekend. I had to somehow write to get it back after a few days. Just sticking with it consistently, that has been the best thing about it. Really, this whole process is the idea that I can go at this thing every day and not really ever experience any kind of catch-up days. For those that maybe take time off, I guess this is just just like any normal writer, really. I guess this video is more of like, hey, I've been there before too. That if you're experiencing that, if you're experiencing this sort of like the catch up, I guess, like fatigue or whatever, if you're playing, that first day back, that's always going to be your catch up day. And so if it's bad, that's fine. That's normal. That's to be expected. Perhaps schedule less work as far as a workaround for that. If you normally are doing maybe 500 words or 1,000 words a day, do 300 instead. Just try to get 300 done in the same amount of time, if that's how you measure your time. If you do it by time, perhaps you do like an hour, 90 minutes, schedule a half hour on that first day back just to get the rhythm back, and then the rest of the week continue. The only times I ever was able to not experience that is if I took just one day off, which would be my other suggestion as far as perhaps a solution to the problem. If you take, say, one day off, usually a full 24 hours doesn't really never really cause any kind of setback there. Maybe a little bit, but more often than not, I was able to jump in. If I took like a Sunday off, I could jump back in on a Monday and just continue. But even like a long weekend, or even a weekend, I often felt like I was playing catch up. So this video is just kind of a, I guess, sort of kind of a resource for those that have been going through that or those that experience that. Understand it's normal. It's very, very normal to have that variation there, to have such a big dip in quality. And I'm not the only one either who's talked about this before. There was a gentleman who is a Nebula award-winning author who I spent a little bit of time working with, who often talked about that. They often said they never took days off, and this was a long time ago. This was probably maybe, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. They had mentioned that only because basically they felt that like anytime they took a day off, they were always playing catch up the next day, and they noticed their prose was completely off. So this is not just my own experience. I've seen it with other authors as well. So if you are going through that, my suggestion to you very simply is try to decrease the days that you are taking off, or just kind of recognize that this is going to happen and to plan around a little bit less work around those days. That way you can kind of just pay a small penalty of, hey, here's a couple hundred words that are not the best, and then go in tomorrow with hopefully a better day.